going on. Today we matchmaking the top 5 current bantamweights. 6, I guess, with the new champ Merab. So let's get into it. First fight I have is Merab versus Umar. Umar's coming off a great win against Corey Sandhagen. His striking looked good. His wrestling looked good as always. He only got 4 or 5 takedowns, but Corey's definitely working on the wrestling, and it looked pretty solid in that fight. I mean, Umar's striking looked super slick. His boxing looked good. He outstruck Corey in 4 of the 5 rounds. And the majority of those strikes were on the feet at range. They weren't in the clinch, on the ground. He struck very, very well with Corey, who is typically known as a pretty good striker himself. I don't think Corey was ready for the striking of Umar, and Umar showed up and looked really, really good. Merab's also coming off a huge win against Sean O'Malley. Merab's wrestling looked great. I mean, that was the game plan against Sean O'Malley. Get in, take him down, grind him down a bit, do some ground and pound, throw up a few submission attempts. He didn't really do much striking. The striking that he didn't look great. He landed a few good strikes coming out of clinch. Was able to land occasionally, blitzing in to get a takedown. I think like once or twice he maybe stunned O'Malley a little bit. I think this fight would end up being a stand-up battle. Both these guys are super wrestling heavy, and I think in a fight like that, we'd end up just seeing a standing fight, and Umar has a huge advantage on the feet, in my opinion. I don't think Merab will be able to keep up with the striking of Umar. I think Umar will be able to keep range, land well, do some damage to Merab. The takedowns of Merab aren't a huge threat to Umar, in my opinion. His wrestling's just way, way too good. Merab can maybe grind it out and get a takedown later in the fight, but I don't see him taking down Umar almost at will like he did to Sean O'Malley. I don't foresee Umar getting a finish either in this fight. I think this fight would go distance. I think the striking Umar would show up very, very good for him. And we might see a few fun little sprawls on the ground, a few roll arounds, something like that. But I think the striking Umar would be too much, and I think he'd get a decision win in the end. The next fight I have is Sean O'Malley versus Peter Yan. Their first fight was pretty fun, very, very close. In my opinion, Peter won, but judges didn't see it that way. So this is honestly, in my opinion, this is just a fight to make for both guys. It'll sell well. It's a great rematch. Peter Yan's coming off a great win against Song Yadong. His boxing's super sharp. His ground game looked pretty good. And obviously O'Malley's coming off a loss to Merab. I think this fight will go pretty similar to the first fight. I think O'Malley's definitely improved since then. I mean, sure, Pewter has too. He looked pretty good against Song Yadong. I would probably give the edge to Sean O'Malley in this fight, though. I think his range will be a bit too much for Pewter. It's kind of in the first fight. It's kind of how it seemed too. It seemed like Pewter was struggling a little bit to get in the distance with Sean O'Malley and land well. I don't see Pewter Yan being able to take Sean O'Malley down and beat him up down there. He got a few takedowns in the first fight, but it wasn't anything like Merab was able to do. Like I said, I think this fight will go very, very similar to the first fight. I think I give a bit more of an edge to O'Malley this fight, though. I don't see O'Malley getting a finish. Neither do I see Peter getting a finish. I think this fight will probably go to a decision. I think O'Malley do a lot of damage in the fight. Maybe cut Peter up a little bit. Maybe taken down once or twice. Maybe land a takedown of his own. I don't see a sub happening for either guy. And I think Sean O'Malley would edge out a win in a decision. Last fight I have is Deiveson Figueiredo versus Corey Sandhagen. This is a super fun fight, in my opinion. Corey's coming off a loss to Umar. He didn't look great in that fight. I mean, he looked solid. His wrestling's definitely gotten better. We saw that against Rob Font as well. Surprisingly, he got outstruck by Umar. I just don't think he's prepared for the striking. He's expecting Umar to be shooting on him the whole time. But you could tell by the way he fought, he didn't look quite in tune with his striking. Deiveson, on the other hand, coming off a great win against Marlon Vera. Deiveson obviously has power. Corey's never been knocked out, but I mean, Chito Vera had never been knocked down either, and Deiveson put him down. So the power is definitely, definitely there. He has great wrestling and great jiu-jitsu too. This fight, I'd see a lot of fun exchanges on the feet, bunch of fun sprawls on the ground. I don't really see either guy getting a finish. I think the fight would go to decision, and in a decision, I think I'd give a slight edge to Deiveson. I think he'd do more damage, maybe cut Corey open a little bit, hurt him with some of the strikes, maybe get him with a few kicks. I think he may be able to get a takedown or two. I think on the ground he looked more efficient. I think his jiu-jitsu is better, but I don't see him finishing Corey. Daveson's obviously at a reach disadvantage here, but in the bantamweight division, it's not really anything new for him. I think he'll be able to find range, get some takedowns, land well, close with Corey, and I think I'd give it to Daveson by decision. just as I was filming this video, Sean O'Malley announced that he probably won't fight for 9 months, 10 months, maybe a year. It's going to be a while. So that kind of screws with the whole Pewter Yan matchup. I doubt Yan's going to want to wait that long. I think Figgy versus Yan would be a great fight. I don't see Sean O'Malley fighting Corey. Corey's coming off a loss. I think Sean O'Malley's going to want to fight that puts him back in the title picture, and I don't think Corey Sandhagen does that. Maybe if Corey goes out and fights Figgy, gets a good win, then I can see that fight happening. But I think Sean O'Malley come back and fight either Peter or Figgy, or maybe the loser of the Umar versus Merab fight. Who knows?